Hello folks, and welcome to the EMS Officer Exchange, where we engage and collaborate with EMS officers worldwide. My name is Orlando Dominguez. Well folks, on this show, we'll be discussing a little bit about strategic uncertainties. In addition, I'll be sharing an event that just recently took place in our local response area. Before we get there though, I truly want to say thank you from the bottom of our hearts for your feedback, for your ongoing support, and for watching. Please continue to provide us with your feedback, topics that you want us to discuss on the show, and we'll be happy to do so. Thanks again. Truly, thank you so much for being a part of this show. So, let's get down to the event that recently took place. So late February, we received a call from the second busiest hospital in our response area, letting us know that they would be closing down operations. That means no more ambulance transport to that one facility. As you can imagine, it certainly created some concerns, some challenges for us, and especially in that we had to make certain adjustments in such a short period of time. We had a little bit over a month to do what we had to do to ensure that we maintain adequate coverage and making sure that those patients within that jurisdiction, that response area, certainly receive the appropriate care that they have been used to. We knew for sure that there was going to be extended response times. We knew that the transport times were going to go ahead and increase by a little over 6 minutes, and then the distance would certainly increase as well. So to put it in perspective, I just want to show you a little bit about the X is where that hospital closed, all right? And you can see the next closest hospitals. So there's no doubt that we had our work cut out for us. So one of the first things we did was assess our internal and external performance assessments. We knew that out of every crisis, there has to be an opportunity. And that's exactly what we did. We started assessing what were those pinch points, what were those areas that on a day-to-day basis were routinely giving us challenges in us providing EMS service delivery. And then we began to focus on that. We looked at those strategic variables. We looked at our core values. We looked at what risk we needed to avoid, those critical performance variables. And what do I mean by that is looking our performance indicators. What was our response data showing? How many patients were we transporting out of that area? So again, gathering as much information as possible and then focusing on those strategic uncertainties. So strategic uncertainty, what exactly is it? Well, this refers to unpredictable external and internal factors that can significantly impact the organization's ability to execute its strategy. These uncertainties can certainly stem from a shift in the market. Like we saw here, we had a hospital that now was no longer operational. Comprehensive dynamics, regulatory changes, technological disruptions, or internal operational risk. At the end of the day, these are situations that perhaps we may not be ready for, we don't really anticipate unless we do our homework. And the problem with these situations is that typically we find ourselves then dealing with a crisis. In a crisis, a situation that poses a serious threat, challenge, or disruption, often requiring urgent decision making and immediate action to resolve. And disruption is what we were facing. So one of the areas that we started to look at was our hospital wall times. And our Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Antevi, has done a tremendous job in implementing this, what we call this wall time app. This wall time app has helped us significantly improve our wall times. And basically it's an app that our personnel can use when the emergency department and a certain time has been exceeded. We have set a threshold, 20 minutes. If there's no offload time, then they activate the wall time app and administrators, medical directors, as well as the Office of EMS gets notified that these folks are holding the wall. Our crews need to transfer those patients to get back in service. And as you can see, a picture speaks 1,000 words. If all these units are holding the wall at our local hospital, then who's running the 911 call? So we knew that we had to address this very aggressively. You can see here, a little chart, a little bar graph, that early, I would say like mid-February, late February, we got the call. We were doing fairly well. The blue bars really indicate the turnaround time in less than 20 minutes that our crews were experiencing. And that's what we want, rapid turnaround time. And then you see some colors that signify, from 20 minutes to 30 minutes, from 30 minutes to 45 minutes, and so on. We really want to keep those other colors down and really keep those blue bars up because that's really what we want, quick turnaround time. And you can see they started diminishing Uh, the hospitals were doing great, but as we got closer to this hospital closing, the community started realizing that they should seek assistance or care at some of the other facilities, and then that started bottlenecking those other facilities and made the situation even worse. Now, just to let you know that that's one of those performance indicators that we look at. In addition, we started looking at realizing that our responses to emergent versus non-emergent cases usually range about 50%, maybe a little bit more on the non-emergent low acuity side. And we figured that if we had our ALS units, we're an all ALS department, responding to these non-emergent calls on a regular basis and then getting stuck at the hospital, that would certainly be a problem. So we had to come up with some kind of a plan that would allow our advanced life support units to remain in service, available to meet the need of those more urgent, those critical calls, and find some kind of mechanism to be able to transport those non-emergent low acuity patients to the hospital. So we said to ourselves, we have a two-pronged problem and we need a two-pronged approach. And that basically is begin focusing on the wall time and then come up with a plan of how we can transfer those non-emergent low acuity patients to another response system, if you will, another EMS system, that they can safely transport those patients to the hospital, and making sure that we have our ALS units available for those more emergent critical calls. So with that said, this is part one. During part two, we're going to talk about a little bit about the plan, how we executed, and was it effective, and where we are today. So with that being said, I leave you with this leadership message. The greatest leader is not necessarily the one that does the greatest things. He is the one that gets the people to do the greatest things. President Ronald Reagan. So if you would like more information on this topic or any other topic, please feel free to check out the column in EMS World magazine titled From the Officer's Desk. I'm sure you'll find quite a few articles of interest. So don't forget, you can also follow us on social media. You can follow us on Twitter, on Instagram, and on LinkedIn. So with that said, I want to thank you all for watching. Please be safe. Thank you again for all that you do. And again, we'll see you next time. You take care of yourself.